Hi everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I'm here to review Joker FOLIE DEUX. This is the latest movie from writer-director Todd Phillips and his follow-up to his smash success Joker from 2019. And no matter what you felt about Joker, whether you loved it and thought it was an interesting spin on the character, or you thought it was, or you're more like me, you're more in my camp where you thought it was just very middling and not really all that, very shallow and kind of with annoying sense of self-seriousness, or you just kind of thought it was fine, or you were scared of it, or whatever. Whatever your feelings on it, it definitely felt like a movie that was worth talking about. Even if it was just to see it and have an opinion on it, it felt like kind of an event. So the idea that there was going to be a sequel to that movie, especially given the purposeful ambiguity of some of its story, felt really weird and self-defeating. But then they said it was going to be a musical, and I got really excited because that's the kind of big swing that I respect. We need you have full reign with a big IP, and you're just doing whatever with it. That's pretty cool. And it's not only going to be a musical, you're going to bring in Harley Quinn and have her be cast by Lady Gaga, and that's perfect. And the movie itself is just not good. Ugh, man, this was a mess. But it's not good in a different way than the first one, because where I found the first movie very shallow, for all of its props with the cinematography and the music and the acting and some of the other editing choices, that movie still felt, once you get used to it, it's a really shallow look on mental illness and social strife and violence and all that. It reveals that it's not as interesting a movie as it clearly tries to be or thinks it is. But this movie FOLIE DEUX feels more like both a reaction to the first movie and a rebuke of the first movie. And especially given how this movie ends, which I can't give away. Given how this movie ends, I almost kind of respect that. This is a movie that even tells its fans that they're stupid. It's a movie that kind of has contempt for its fans, and for both its fans and haters alike. And you know what? I kind of dig that. I gotta give Todd Phillips props for that, because in today's world where studios are falling over themselves to make all their franchises and all their major IPs just as safe and neutral as possible, and as loving to all of its fans, as big and wide as their fan bases as possible, thereby being completely neutered and pleasing nobody. I think a movie that actively tells even its fans to fuck off, I think that's cool. I just wish that the movie that message was a part of and had preceded wasn't such a slog to sit through. So in FOLIE DEUX we follow up on Arthur. It's been 2-ish years since the events of the first movie. He's in Arkham. He's not doing too well because he's in Arkham. And I gotta say, Joaquin Phoenix, he looks really sickly here. It's not quite Christian Bale in The Machinist skinny, but it's the way he undulates his shoulder blades. He aids and lurches in on himself. He just looks sick to look at. And Joaquin I think does still do a good performance here. But we're following Arthur. He's in Arkham. It's a bad time. It's a sad, bad time. He's being he's being bullied by the guards. One of them played by Brendan Gleeson, which kind of feels like a waste of Brendan. We know how great an actor he is, but honestly, it's still nice to see him. He's like a friend. We just like having him around. But at Arkham, we see Arkham. He kind of makes nice with, and he starts a bit of a interesting sort of romance with another patient, Lee, who's played by Lady Gaga, and they share time in music therapy classes, but at that same time, but also Arthur is being put on trial for all the the stuff from the first movie. And there's the prosecution is played by being run by young Harvey Dent, who is I did not like this guy who played Harvey. I kind of like what they're going for with like, oh, this is seems to be like the case that would like really make Harvey's name, make him like the actual district attorney, not the assistant district attorney that he is in the movie. But he's played so flat in one note, and this whole like stretch of the movie with the courtroom stuff is really turgid. It's such like I said, this movie is 2 hours and 18 minutes long, and you feel every minute of it. There are even when there are half decent scenes either here or outside between him and Lee, or in these musical segments, they're just so it's just the pacing is just completely shot across the board, and on top of those musical scenes, those moments kind of start out okay, and I think there are moments that do that are impressive. Like I think sometimes you have basically the same crew from the first movie returning, so you have Lawrence Sher as cinematographer, and this movie can look really nice. I think sometimes they have these sometimes the colors will really pop amongst this like grunge, that familiar grunginess of the first movie, and Hildur's score. Oh my god, like if there's any praise anybody that I can praise for this movie who like comes out of it looking really good, it's Hildur. Like her score is fantastic. I honestly think it's used better here than it was in the first one. And these sequences, I was the trailers kind of led you to believe that it's sort of taking some inspiration from The Umbrellas Are Shared Board, where everybody's like they're singing. Well, like it's a musical in the sense that everybody is like singing every line. But here, I think it owes more to this Lars von Trier musical that he made with Björk from 2000 called Dancer in the Dark, and like that movie, they kind of like plays with the diegeticness of the music. It's sort of playing half and half of like, are these musical numbers all in his head, or when he's singing, do people watch and react to him singing, or like are they actually happening in the world that he's living in, that sort of thing. And I think sometimes those numbers look really good, and like when you give Lady Gaga the chance to like really belt it, she's a performer, she's a true musical savant, and sometimes she looks really great. And I think Joaquin, I don't think his singing was as the quality of his singing was as bad as I think some people have been saying. He's definitely singing like Joaquin can sing. I remember Walk the Line, but he's still singing in character as Arthur. And it's kind of this like squawky crooner voice, and he comes off fine. He also like does a bit of a dance. He like does a tap dance routine, and that's not hard to do if you're not like a trained dancer. Tap dancing is not something that you can like pick up like that. But so props to him. It's definitely a performance he's still committed to. He's still in it. But man, I gotta say, the stuff they make him do in this is kind of really just worse than is annoying in a different way than the first, mostly because this movie is very repetitive. Like as much praise as I can sing to Joaquin and Gaga's commitment to these song sequences, not all these song sequences are like shot very compellingly. They sort of just come in here and there without much clear motivation. My God, there's also and a lot of these, they just feel very repetitive. And if there was, and okay, if the musical stuff doesn't super do it for you, the courtroom stuff won't do much for you either, because some of the choices made there, they like kind of hard confirm some of the more ambiguous plot beats of the first movie, which feels like a mistake, or at least something that would like upset fans. You know, my brother, who loved the movie, who likes the first movie a lot, really didn't care for stuff like that. And also, like, the stuff in the courtroom, it feels very like one note. Like, we're just kind of like stuck in this one mode for so long. And when it feels like it should be ramping up, when he's like kind of trying to win over the crowd that's like sees Arthur and that sees the Joker as a martyr, and he's like representing himself as Joker in makeup. Like, it feels like they should be ramping up, but it never really does. Like, and oh man, like, it just feels like such a long movie to sit through. It's such a miserable movie to sit through. It's like, again, it's piling on again and again and again and again how sad Arthur is, and how much it tries to how serious it tries to be in all the general milieu of it. And man, like, when the on the other hand, Lady Gaga, I think, is pretty great in this. And I think it's always a little funny whenever she's like in a movie, because when she's like, you know, doing the press tour, she like kind of acts like she just rediscovered acting. Like, she's the first person who discovered, like, hey, yeah, I'm playing like a character. But honestly, I think this is like her best performance. Like, genuinely, I think she has this. Even when she's like not singing and like doing, you know, what you hire Lady Gaga to do, she has this like very like she has such a fiery gaze that you really want to know what's going on behind those eyes. And it's such a shame that this movie just is so much not interested in the psychology of Lee, not nearly to the same degree as it is with Arthur. And Arthur is just, I just don't think Arthur is that compelling a character, especially how they're like kind of trying to play up and the ways that this movie like the way that Lee kind of like is interested in Arthur more for, like, you know, what she sees in him, you know, the Joker persona, the mask that he wears, and it's sort of like their relationship is sort of interesting in a kind of like, how much does she get, but like he's clearly like seeing her as like something of a lifeline, because, hey, I have a new lease on life because I have someone who loves me, and she kind of like just wants him for the Joker, you know, the clown makeup stays on kind of thing. But like, I keep wondering, like, what exactly does she see in him? Like, why does she see Joker the way that she does? And like, at least in other iterations of Harley Quinn, be it the original animated series, or even with what Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn does with her Mr. J, there's enough there that you understand why she desires him, why she is so obsessive with him. But here, it's a lot of it is just kind of like left on the table. And it's not so, and I know that there was a lot of like stuff about the Harley Quinn character herself that like a lot of Harley's more interesting stuff is when she's like removed from Joker, and when she's with Joker, there's a lot of like hampering with her character that you have to do to like get there. But like, I at least want to know why she's there, and there's not much of why she's into Arthur's Joker. Again, not nearly the same amount of time that we spend with Arthur and him sort of jostling between do I just go back to being Arthur, or do I just keep the mask on and and play the Joker role that I've through either no means of my own, or just like tumbling into this sort of martyr role that I just have to keep playing. And all of that could have been fine, but but nah, this movie is just long. It's long, it's boring. It gave me a headache after a while. And for all the pros I can say with its casting, again, it's familiar to the first one. I can give praise to the look of the movie, the performances of the movie, the music in the movie. It's just not enough. You need to do more than that. And the more that it does with that ending, I respect, but I also hate, because it's Todd Phillips spitting in my face for even ever hoping to give a shit about the first movie. So I'm kind of shaking his hand while kicking him in the balls too. Maybe I would have wanted, as daring as this movie and as antagonistic as much as I respect an antagonistic movie, as much as I respect a movie that kind of is challenging its fans while also hating its fans, I just wish the movie was had more of anything to it. I honestly wished I watched Megalopolis again instead, because that movie was at least an interesting failure. But man, this was not interesting. And it was just a lot, and nothing at all. So yeah, I can't recommend this, not even for the curious, not even for fans of the first movie. And this is a real skip. I'm feeling a light 3 for this, and that's mostly for the acting. That's mostly for the cinematography, the craft, the music, Hilder's score. Hildur does great work. I hope she continues to do great work in the future. She is a real darling. Brendan Gleeson innocent, Hildur innocent, Lady Gaga innocent, Joaquin kind of been treading on ice since dropping out of that movie last minute. I was shitty of him. But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Folie à Deux. It's not much, but comment, like, subscribe. Did you like Folie à Deux? What did you think of Folie à Deux? Did you like the first movie? That's it. That'll be it. I'm Zach. I like movies. I will be watching more movies. I have a lot more movies to watch back here, and I hope you watch movies too. And I will see you all next time.